congratulations for learning and performing a piece like this. It's so actually complex as we delve into all of the details and the intricacies of the inner voices and counterpoint. This piece actually almost seems impossible to play well. But I want to say that I see elements in your musicianship that I know you will eventually fully own this piece. And one of them is that I think you're playing, it's very courageous. You have this element of being brave to really how you approach some of these difficulties. You don't step back, but you step forward. That's actually a very interesting element for Scriabin music, this bravery, because I think that here the narrative of this piece requires a lot of this fire, a lot of this temperament. So I'm here to, maybe put some of these things in order. And of course to also address, yes, the overall character of these elements, of the themes. And one very difficult thing and the unique element about this piece, from my experience, is also how the sections transition. Because Scriabin is trying to create this long arc of continuity in how the themes are introduced, not by stopping. Sometimes we think of stopping the music to introduce something like a second theme, lyrical second theme, but it's not doing that. It's doing the opposite. There is like this natural acceleration in the structure of the piece that is quite particular. And we should also say that this is like one of the most inspired periods of Scriabin compositional activity. This was written between the third and the fourth sonata. It's really, there is lyricism, there is fire, and there is also this more volatile element. I mean, like the music takes wing. It's like we have to fly with the music. So it's not, music with the feet on the ground, but it's music always the source. And this is actually very difficult to find with this particular piece. From the very beginning, I will create more of this yearning picture. It's not something very definitive yet, but it's like troubled in the mood. So here we have to really delve into darkness, and I will also use the left pedal because this darkens the sound quite a bit. You play this with one hand. I used to play this with two hands. It gives me more control. So let's build a little bit more. So this is really the main important thing. This is more like, maybe we could call it, well, it has thematic connotations, but maybe like a sort of an introduction within the first theme. Can we try a little bit first to darken the sound? Okay, wait, but this is, however, sorry, like we're it's sort of the same. More softly to the key. Yeah. More crescendo though. Yes. And here, okay, two elements are very important. One is actually this, which sometimes I know I did this too when I learned the piece. I used to do it, but it's actually so this acciaccatura, it's not it's so the music has like this impulse. And now, I remember when I played this piece for one of my first grade teachers, a Russian teacher from the school of Neuhaus and Naumov. He asked me to play this with different types of rubato. He wanted me to play this with like 10 different types of rubato. Okay, and at some point I do. So it's very important to practice really ways of speech, because this is the most important element. There is this element of despair. It's like a declaration, or it's maybe a question. So the music is such a dramatic gesture. So maybe try to find something a little bit more meaningful than just in the shape of this. Shall we try it from there? Sorry, the main element is not so much the octaves, but the harmonies changing. Very nice color. Not so much. And clean the pedal. Otherwise, sounds like saying something beautiful, but with something in your mouth. Whoa. Let's take from. Yeah. Also, there is something in this Russian sound, something a little bit more penetrating in the top voice, like stars. A little bit more intensity in the top. Yeah, and here we have also this beautiful star. Back to the darkness. Recommend maybe voicing a little bit more of this descent of the bass line. Also notice another thing I do to make this a little more longing. I'm changing the pedal later and slowly, so see? It's much more poignant, much more because if you do, that's too real. Bass. Bass. And then again. So this so it needs to be highlighted a little bit more. also gesture of Scriabin when he writes the rest instead of the dot. That he actually wants a little bit of a lift. Sorry. It's a much more. Yeah, the music is really, if we go deep into that, the level of drama is like soaring. But you understand this part, I know you do. So, would you like to take it more from it's very, yes. We introduce in the left hand. A little bit. I like, of course, your feeling of the music. But the interesting thing is that, again, Scriabin writes no ritardando, but actually writes più vivo. And this is a very important thing because, as I said before, he's creating a very dynamic structure, something like takes wings. So you have to be more of Icarus here, you know, like flying. In the sense that, so all of these... like dreamlike quality in this music. So I know that we are tempted to do but he's really asking us to move this also, when you have this duet going on, like you tend to rush a little bit, but actually make time for the second voice to be heard. So it's important that when there is counterpoint in the music, to allow it to speak, so to give a little bit of time for it to be brought out. Can we try from there? Oh, and also the rhythm is pa-pa-pam. The second time we want to do a different. So something a little bit more special. And also, I may suggest to voice the G sharp. The G sharp goes to G natural. So both need to be heard a little bit more. Yeah. More, less. Yes. Yes. Maybe this change can be a little bit more. See, just find these moments where the light changes, you know, it's like shadows in the music, but you're playing very beautifully. And also this second voice continues. See, there is something so emotional in its music, which is like, it's hard to describe in words even for me, but it's really like going to another dimension. So can we try? This is so beautiful when the second voice comes. Yes, but okay. So don't let this go too quick. They're syncopated because it's a bit more. And then pick up the tempo. Yeah, maybe here you can even move a little bit with more drive after you end this phrase. So there is always this tension in the music, something that's like, you pull a rubber band, it may break any moment. I don't know. So you have to really play this piece on the edge of breaking, but you won't break it. You just know how much you can pull it without breaking it. And so the tempo is like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. It's not like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, but always with this direction, sense of direction. Let's try. And what you do, it's very musical. But I'm not so sure if that's what exactly he's pointing, because it seems like the music actually keeps like becoming hotter and hotter in that respect of having this like burning emotion from here. faster. So maybe try to, what happens if you actually keep the continuity of this more passionate drive. So really for it. Can we try from? You do this very nicely. Yeah, maybe this a little bit more present. More assertive. Your tempo is actually very accurate, and I really think that the metronome marking in this fantasy of Scriabin make perfect sense. Sometimes we don't follow exactly metronome markings, but I have to say, in this piece, to me, they make perfect sense. So now, just make sure that it doesn't get, however, fast without you having, let's say, without delineating what is very important about the articulation and the character. This is a young and the lefty so it can be a little bit, it can be your tempo. This rhythm, yaram, pa-bam, da-da-ram, pa-bam, needs to be more sharp within your tempo. Your press is very exciting. I like you do that. Make sure that the placement of the left hand chords is between the second and third, because sometimes it gets a little bit not so precise. So. And also we need to do a little bit more clear the top voice. So this I need to hear a little bit more. Can we do from maybe from that? Yeah. So your left hand a little bit. This part has to be a bit more clear. To the tempo primo, which is obviously the tempo of the beginning. I think that for a moment after this very wild and fiery, tempestuous music, maybe here we can take a little bit of breath, although the music remains still quite tense. But it's a different quality of sound. So you have this. So this needs to be a little bit more clear in the beginning. So you don't have to also play. You can play slightly. It will be heard more if you do that. Slide. So if you, when there is polyphonic music, sometimes some of the entrances are heard better, if not perfectly together with the other hand, but slightly after or before. It helps this to come out and be heard more. So let's take from this tempo primo maybe, or if you want from the last before. Yeah, but don't rotate. It's the same thing. Much more deep in the singing line. So, maybe this is a little bit too much for me, this crescendo. Scriabin, again, there is something much more volatile, much more like up in the air, flying. Crescendo to mezzo piano. So I will keep it a little bit quieter in terms of sound. Until then, that's a different. But right now, try to stay a little bit like, again, there is tension, but no release yet. Gets percussive, but if there is any tension, any blockage, the sound starts becoming a bit too harsh. And the better the piano, the more harsh the piano will get back to you. So make sure there is always this kind of flexibility in your body. I know this music gets very intense, but we have to always remain mobile in the body motion. So let's try maybe. And make sure that this your shape, it goes till the last note, because you do the last three notes are not as expressive till the very end. Sforzatissimo. So from this point on, and this, by the way, the second one, because he writes so many notes, it doesn't have to be fast as a little bit more. There you have to be more courageous. This is really like, opening the gates to something that is completely a new universe. It's very, very like a volcano, this music erupting. Can we try this? Maybe from the second one. Music, dangerous in the mood, and of course I'm playing too. So make sure that you make room for these like trombones. So much more majestic the music. Come to this climax, make sure that the left hand stays very beautifully shaped. It's so beautiful that could be alone. Even the left hand alone would be actually very nice music. Already, you don't even need the melody, but then just imagine how much complexity and all of these things are like. It's like a storm of where everything is coming together. The right hand melody, and also the left hand is also singing this. So there has to be always a sense of melody. With all the great Russian romantic composers, the left hand is like a universe of its own. So it's like, yes, we see the right hand, but now we have to see the left hand too. Can you try from there? Here, bar 113, same thing like we discussed before. You have the new element. It needs a little bit of time to speak. So may introduce it. So if you don't give a little bit of time, we'll not hear it. Can you try? I know how difficult it is to play all of these notes very honestly. Good. Are we done with time? Okay. So Well, we actually got to do quite a bit of this very complex work, and again, I hope that this gives you some ideas and some um, guidance with your journey with this piece, which again is a very long journey. We can spend years and years discovering this piece, but you already have done such amazing work, so congratulations to you and your teachers.
Thank you so much.
So, a really pleasure meeting you.